Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Ben the Human Plays Synergy. We have a task, which is to get 50 citizens. I also noticed our cooked meals are blinking red. I think we have a crap ton of seeds. Like, this guy over here just gathering seeds non-stop is going crazy out here. So I think... I think we're set from, like, building the food. We just need more people to churn out some more food. We also need to continue growing our population. And once we get these sun awnings built here, I think we'll go ahead and continue to expand outward. We could also consider, these guys are still working on the cultural square. We could consider expanding out this way into the shady zone. Our people would be much happier temperature-wise. But these sun awnings should do quite a bit for us with regards to making sure the temperature doesn't get too hot in the dry season. We also have an infirmary. So we could also continue growing houses around here as well. And just in support of housing, we'll probably want to continue grabbing bark, branches, and rocks, because those are your housing things. So stone, bark, oh, it's tree trunks, that's right. We don't have a lot of tree trunks, so I think we'll stick with the stone house made out of bark and stone. I think we'll do it like this. And then that's all she wrote. Right. Okay. And I don't think we'd be able to fit another layer in here. But we could start putting houses along here, perhaps. Yeah, right along the edge. You could get 2 more in there. If we wanted to move the road, you could jam even more houses in there. But right now, we're kind of reaching the maximum of what we're even capable of doing, because we could do 2 houses here as well. I kind of like that better, because it's a little more compact, and then you could build around them. Let's just stick with the 4 that we put in for now and see what that does for our children growth. Water is being handled. Thank God for the water condenser. And we even have a second one out here that we talked about last time. So I could build another water condenser. And we basically don't have to work in our water district right now. We do have a guy who's just slowly converting our toxic water into clean water. But for now, I think we're doing fine. We have 3 people that are free. Some of them are working on houses. A lot of them are working on houses. So yeah, it's all about getting our hands on even more citizens now. Scout team is back. They brought back some soft fibers. Good job. Now, the key now is to find new people. And I'm thinking we just kind of, you know, do the closest ones first, and then just kind of expand out from there. Mostly because they're faster. Yeah, it is interesting. It'd be kind of nice if there was a building kind of similar to this guy, the assignment tower. It'd be nice if there was a building that you could assign people as builders in. Because when you're building a lot of stuff, and maybe it's because I build too much all at the same time, people get sucked into building instead of doing other tasks. It's just kind of interesting. We do want to get the weather station eventually. We got 20 days left on the cultural square, 22 days left on refining. We still need to send a squad out to go exploring. But the more housing we have, the more children are born. At least that's what I learned in the last scenario. I don't know if that still holds true. The game is constantly being updated, and things do change. And I'm not as diligent about updates as I could be. So I'm not I'm probably not the best source to go to as far as updates to the game are concerned. We got the bench. That just makes well-being better. Social. Culture, the canteen is for down here. Because that goes with the cultural square. And we got the bird nest. I don't know what that does. It does exist, though. So that's something. Now we have 10 spare people. Alright, send another squad out. Let's go to the antenna. Often hides technological artifacts. Does anything say that there might be people? Spectacular view. Long forgotten technology. That could have a tablet at it, perhaps. Coming up on the end of the current cycle, cycle 7. We've already been here for 7 cycles? That's nuts. Alright, we're gonna throw 2 more houses down. Just because I feel like the more housing we have, the more likely we are to have more children next cycle. Aerial control. On top of a dune, the explorers discover an antenna made of rudimentary materials, assembled in a complex way, or assembled in a particularly complex way. Using incandescent-based luminous signals, the antenna sends out messages. Its structure is also equipped with some sort of foghorn, the sound of which is converted into an energy wave, the like of which the explorers have never seen before. It is clearly some kind of communication tool, but it will be tough to use without knowing how it functions. It'd be really nice if instead of having to choose, like, to decipher the symbols, or not being able to send a translator or dismantle the thing, it'd be nice if you had the option to be like, I'll visit this later because I guess I'm gonna tear this thing apart and get some tools and rocks and tree trunks, but now I'll never be able to translate that thing. So like it's like, do you wait until you get your hands on like words that count and words and images before you start exploring anything? You know, it's a conundrum. It's just kind of interesting. So it's like, well, so that would be something I would recommend, is like, let you choose to not complete something and be like, you know, I'll come back later. New cycle, only 2 children. All right, the plan to have a ridiculous number of houses and fill them with children doesn't necessarily seem to be working this time around. And that could be because of a game update. It could be, you know, the scenario you're in. I don't know. Everybody's healthy. Because it's like 9 housing can accommodate a new child. But we only have 2. So I'm kind of at a loss. Continuing to chug along with the tooling. Honestly, why don't we put some of the available citizenry into the research center? I know we're still working on these 2 houses here. But, you know, we're kind of waiting on the weather station. Expedition is back. House is done. Let's send out the expedition to the Inselberg. If we can find anybody in the desert, I will be pleased. But right now, yeah, we have like 72 available housing, or people to live in our available space for people to live in. But we're just growing at a ridiculously small rate. We're going through cycles and getting like 1 to 2 children. Like at that rate, it's going to take us 30 cycles to get children. 15 at best. So we need to figure out how to boost our population. I wonder if it's from culture, perhaps? Like if your culture score is high, you produce more children? I'm not sure. I'm just guessing. Now let's extend the road in here. The cultural square is almost done, and I'm really thinking like this might help kickstart some of our stuff, because we need to get culture higher anyway to get the access to the weather station. Let's see, like just utilizing the market square. We could honestly just stick it right here. I think that would be a good place for it. And then you can kind of work around the trees. Like, we could cut down, like, 1 or 2 trees to get access to space for our houses to be. But, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, so you will go here. That'll be fine. We should put... I'm kind of thinking we should move this guy over. Tear out this sun... Well, no, I kind of like that sun tree there. Maybe we should destroy this guy. Move it over here, because all it's doing is gathering bark. Let's check in on these guys. And then when we get access to the cultural square, kind of try and lay out a district in a way that makes sense. The party approaches an Inselberg, the surface of which shows strange bluish-gray colors. Suspecting some unusual type of rock, they are surprised to see the whole geological formation is entirely covered in mold. The stone has been largely eroded by the fungus, crumbling in places at the slightest contact. Although such degradation means most of the rocks aren't good enough for construction, the few ore concentrations still intact are easy to collect. The explorers can also spend some time studying the fungus up close. Get me the culture. The culture is the most important thing you could get. Oh, we even get to choose the other ones. The explorers are able to identify the prolific fungus covering the Inselberg. Strangely enough, it is not lichen or any of the species that usually blossom on mineral surfaces. This one seems especially attracted to decaying biological matter and requires much humidity. One theory is that some genetic variant of the known species has adapted to a more arid climate. Another is that despite how it looks, the Inselberg is actually made of organic matter. Let's collect the rock. Cool. I'm glad I chose to get the culture. Honestly, in my opinion, if there's ever a chance to get culture, always pick culture. It's not easy. I mean, it's not impossible to come by, but it's one of those resources that the ways to get it are a little tricky and convoluted. And by passing up the chance to get culture for like resources you can manufacture on your own, I think you're kind of like putting yourself at a disadvantage, personally. Just my 2 cents. Oh, I see. The culture came from these houses being inside the Hall of Wisdom's radius. That is very interesting. The canteen, I think I'm gonna put it here. I like that spot. You guys done yet? Almost. There we go. Paramount culture. Now, you're the next thing up, but you're a technology-specific thing. So, and that's gated behind 60% culture, or 60 culture. We don't have any works of art. And we are working on this guy to get works of art, so that's a good thing. We could work on terracotta roads. Takes tools, but we do have a lot of tools and we do have a lot of rock. A cup of tea is also a good one. Tea bar. I think we'll do that one. That one's useful. Does eat into our water supply a little bit. And honestly, the fact that we have 80 tools, we should come out here and build the second thermal basin. I will never regret having water. I don't think. And honestly, maybe it'd be a good investment to have a water tower out here, just because it'd be easy for them to grab the water and drop it off. And then they could come out and grab more water if they need to. I don't know. In preparation for this location, though, we should start working on a cellar. The question is, where do you build it to be the most effective for the houses around there? I'm thinking here is good, because then we can do a house, and a house. We will have to take out that tree, but maybe not right away. Maybe we leave the tree intact for now, because it would be surrounding some houses. And then we can just kind of piecemeal our way around the rest of the trees. I like that. We'll put the cellar there and see how it goes. And then I will connect you kind of in a roundabout way. I want to try to find a place, oops, that is least intrusive to our overall plan. Maybe if we build out this way? Like this? So we're outside of the cellar range? That seems pretty okay. And then they can drag the water around this way? The scouts are back. Let's send them to the rocky peak. What happened here? I can't see it. It's bark. Don't let this bark go to rot. Or carbon bulbs, you fools. They are building this one again, so that's good. Part of it is we don't have a lot of spare people. Because the people that are spare immediately get sucked into building buildings. Picking? I think we want to stick with trimming. Although, we could pick these wigged lotuses to keep... Although our food supply is so crazy. 688 seeds on their own, we don't really need to go a-picking. So let's stick with bark. Bark's pretty useful. Especially if we're going to try to keep our house production like crazy. And then maybe snag these lianas as well. We could start using those for, what? Scrolls or something? Not really 100% sure what scrolls are used for. Expedition is back? No, wait, they're out. Resonance. The explorers started climbing the peak in the area, hoping to get a view of the surrounding landscape. They discover a hermit's house at the foot of the mountain. Its owner, a woman wearing a yellow scarf, points them towards the best track to the summit. A little while later, they meet the same woman again, but she doesn't seem to recognize them and snaps at them as if they were strangers. At first, they think maybe she has a twin sister, but they soon see it as something else when they meet another, then 2, then 6, even 8 absolutely identical women. We must communicate with them. None of the mountain hermits has any idea what the explorers are blabbering on about. Each one claims to be alone on the track and have never met anyone other than before the explorers' arrival. The party's questions do worry them, though, and they all seem to offer some herbal remedy for dealing with rarefied air effects. Are we being influenced? We can't. I don't think the doubles exist. I think we're hallucinating. Let's climb the path. On the snowy peak, the explorers find a spiroid cocoon made of red stone that is encrusted on the mountain rock. Through a vertical crack, they can see that it is warm and smooth inside. They manage to enlarge the opening using a tool and find the woman with the yellow scarf inside. She is smiling faintly and breathing so lightly you might think her dead. What is happening? Wake them up. Despite the explorers pounding on her cocoon, the woman with the yellow scarf only wakes up when they start extracting her from her strange enclosure. When she realizes it is not a dream, she starts to cry. "You've stolen 8 lives from me. You've done worse than kill me." The hermit then flees, quite vigorously despite her gaunt look. We got culture. That was one of the weirdest things I've encountered in this game. How strange. How are you guys doing? How is our stockpile of resin looking? 131. It might be to the point where we could shut off resin for a bit. Just because, like, I don't think we need that much resin. Let's see here. We don't want to chew through that tree. These plants are in the way. Alright. Sorry, Cotton Sprout. You must be pulled out. And the same with the whipping gourd. We'll get some water out of it. That's something. Did you guys come out here and build this thing yet? You're working on it. Okay. And you're working on the canteen. We don't have enough people for this one. But we'll get there. You guys are working on the bar. You guys are working on nothing. That's not good. Let's see. What could we have you working on? The textiles I'm not as interested in. There's not a lot for the technology team to be working on because we're like gated by culture. Although we will have culture very shortly. All right, let's kick these 2 out just for now. until the explorers get back, which is going to be very short. But we'll immediately put them back in because we should have enough culture for the weather station. There we go. And now we have 68 culture. Alright, you two get back in here. And weather station it up. Takes 30 tools. I'm glad we're still trucking away at the tool builder over here. Instead of arts and crafts. And we have plenty of branches, so it's fine to continue with that one. Not quite done there. Oh, done very shortly. Huzzah. Free water. And you get even more water during the dry season. I gotta remember that. It produces 20 water during the dry season. This building is amazing. It's my favorite building in the game. Canteen is complete. We'll just let them load up with food. And then you're working on the cellar. So the next thing is to build the cultural square, which takes 40 rocks. Where is a good place for the square? Because I don't really want to interrupt the house building plan I have. We could fit houses here, and then there's kind of space around there. There's so many trees in this. Honestly, like, we only have to maintain trees as long as they provide shade. One, two, three, four, five. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's a good spot, I think. We only need to maintain a certain amount of trees for the cultural bonus, because I think the number of trees around the square at this point is more than the bonus allows. But we also don't need, like, overlapping shade from the trees either. Like, these trees are all providing the same benefit to the houses around them. You would honestly probably keep this tree and then remove these two, because they're not really doing anything compared to the other trees around them. Constructed the cellar. Fantastic. The carbon bulbs, I don't think we want those in this cellar. This cellar should be exclusively, like, late game food. Or middle food. So simple dishes. If we ever get to loaves of bread, sure. Then we can utilize that too. But definitely water and simple dishes. We shouldn't really store carbon bulbs here, and honestly, like, the fruit, we gathered a bunch of it. We're gathering vegetables now? Excuse me? How? Are you guys in the presence of a tree? Does the sun awning count as a tree? Perhaps it does. Because I think they said wigged lotus in shade. And so the fact that we have a sun awning is that we're getting some vegetables from this random wigged lotus that popped up over here. Maybe that's the case. That's fine. Like, we have the seeds are ridiculous. I'm just gonna keep on trucking with the seeds, honestly. Like, we're eating the worst oatmeal possible. I cannot imagine an oatmeal that would taste worse. Uh-oh. The game just froze. Alright, I'm gonna pause. I'll be right back. And we're back. Sorry about that. That was weird. It just, like, froze, and then my computer said synergy.exe stopped working. It is still in early access. That is the first time I've had a full-on crash of the game, though. So overall, not too bad. There's plenty of people that have had way more hours than me that are like, I've run into these bugs over and over, and that does happen in early access. But so far, I've had a pretty smooth ride with it. I just had to reload an autosave a little earlier, so I just rebuilt the cellar, got these two guys up, and then we're working on the cultural square still. So, you guys are working on the T-bar still, and you guys are working on the weather station. Good. So it wasn't even that long ago that I had an autosave. It does autosave relatively frequently, which is nice. So even if you do have a crash once in a while, not the worst thing in the world. Computers are complicated. It does happen. So we're going to pivot hard to producing more culture here. Not only will that just enable more research for us, but I have a sneaking suspicion it might help our population quest as well. But we'll see. I'm going to rip out these cotton sprouts because they're kind of in the way of where I want to build my houses. These guys are working on this cultural square. Shouldn't take super long. Do I have spare people to send out an expedition again? I kind of do. I might as well. I think I will. Let's knock out all of the exploration in our home zone, as it were. You're a desert. You're also a desert. Swamp. Lakeshore's mountain. Another desert. And another desert. This is an inhospitable area we have decided to live in. We couldn't have moved 2 zones over just to live at the Lakeshores district? That seems like way nicer. I could have at least built a pontoon. Although the water situation seems to be doing just fine with the water condensers, honestly. I'm really interested to see if this truly is indeed a +10 during the dry season. Man, if that's the case, I'm singing the praises of the water condenser forever. Now, +5 culture and +5 culture max is interesting due to art gallery, but I think we'll lean on the social district here. Encourage leisure time? I wonder if that's it. Social district encourages leisure time, and that that translates to lots of children being born? Question mark? Maybe? I don't know. But we're gonna go hard on the housing in this district here. So that's 2, 3, and then once these guys are ripped out, that'll be more. But let's see here. We could do 1, 2. We'd have to tear out another tree. But it is doable, and I think these trees are kind of like cannibalizing each other. They're not providing the best benefit they could. Yeah, we only need 8 sun trees, and I don't know how many. We have 13, so we could actually remove 5 of the trees here and still be fine. So let's go ahead and take this one out and this one, because they're kind of in the way of where I want to build the houses. But these trees over here are covering all of those anyway, plus this one over here is doing really well. So we'll take out these 2 middle trees, and then we'll see where we're at. We'll take out these cotton sprouts as well. But if we build all of these houses, we should be able to make the cultural or the social district activate. The district size is small. I wonder if that changes. Like, what if I went to historical? Oh, that's really interesting. That one's a medium, and then the social. Okay, so they must go small, medium, large, or large, medium, small. That's really interesting. I never noticed that before. Did I accidentally change you? Oh, no. Okay, no, never mind. Because the scientific district is medium. Maybe the crafting district is a large district? I suppose it depends on, like, what you're trying to accomplish with the district. Questing machines. While the explorers are crossing the desert, they spot something strange emerging from the stand in the distance. Getting closer, they distinguish metal parts, articulated arms, and old wooden panels. There's a round item that looked like a visual scanner which, in theory, could produce light. However, it is difficult to know what the contraption can do until they get it working. I thought it said get it wrong. There are some useful components in pretty good shape, which could be put to use to get the entire probe working again. See, this is exactly where I'd like to be able to be like, oh, I don't want to dismantle it. But I dismantled it and got 60 tools, so that's fun. Like, it's just kind of interesting that if you don't wait to get all of those things unlocked, but you go exploring anyway, Adabon is having an existential crisis. You're kind of punished if you go exploring because you won't be able to do any of those specialized things. It's just a little unfortunate from my perspective. But what are you gonna do? Our explorer people will be back shortly, and then I'll hold on to them until we get this district off the ground, because we need extra people to be building the houses. Clean water is doing good. Expedition is back. We got tons of tools out of it, which is great. Don't leave the branches on the ground, you bozos. They did clear out most of the bamboo shoots, though, so thank you for doing that. Come get this one, too. That one's starting to pop up. Don't let it happen. We don't have any rocky amalgams popping up over here. We do have some barbed brambles. Want to keep an eye on those, because those could get out of hand really fast. Hey, we've got a watering hole in the district. Trouble is, if I remove these cotton sprouts, that removes some of our culture. Maybe I'll hold on to these for now, then. You guys can be the neighborhood cotton sprouts. I don't know. Stone house. Oh, right there. They have no food. Somebody bring food immediately. These people are starving. Although I don't think anybody lives there right now. Never mind. 4 people live there. Who knew? All right, let's try to get to the end of the cycle here. Get into the next dry cycle. I'm just really curious to see, like, how does this water condenser function while during the dry cycle? I'm very curious. All right, we're in the dry cycle. We've done it. No, we're not. We completed the weather forecast. Although that's a good thing. We need to build that guy. If I pull the quest log back up here. Is that knowledge? Sure is. Takes 50 tools. Well, good thing we brought 60 tools back recently. So, yeah, maybe we just smack it down here. I don't think there's anywhere else that it would really fit. Ideally, it'd be like here, but we have a rock in the way. Could get rid of the road and put it here, but people are using that road. Yeah, we'll just stick it up here. It's fine. I don't even think anybody lives in these houses anyway. All right, I'd take it back. Some people live in the houses. But if we build these houses, I'm kind of surprised this person who works here doesn't live in this house. Right? That just seems weird. Who knows? They've got food. Huzzah. And we're working on the 2 houses. Oh, let's go check to see. It is the dry season. What if I pause you? What if I stop you? All recipes produce plus 10 clean water. Be in the following season. It is... Oh, wait. That's right. We're not in the dry season yet. I was very convinced that when the weather thing happened that we had entered the dry season. You're getting a small window into how my mind doesn't really function perfectly. It's entertaining, maybe. We're out of technology again. Even with 60 culture. I guess we could do this one. Take 20 tools? I guess that's kind of worth doing. I'm kind of surprised that these 240, I don't remember it being that high. 100 is really our next gate, because that's where like the sand extractor and the archaeology, and then I think the foundry. Yep, yeah, a lot of the stuff is gated behind 100 culture. So getting that other district up and running would be very helpful. This is a cultural research, unfortunate. But good, we would love to get our hands on that, because that might just help with some of the exploration things we're doing. I guess for now, go ahead and do the Weaver's Workshop, but I'm gonna drop it down a person just to be able to construct things a little faster. I think we only got 2. We do have 2 houses left working. Where to go next? I think you go to the forest area. Although there is a smoke cloud. Maybe we go to the smoke cloud next. But we'll do that next episode. We've done it just as we entered the dry season. 5 new children! It's happening! Maybe it is the social district that's the key to children. I have no idea. I'm going to have to like write an addendum to my old episode that was like, this is how you do it. Apparently not. Or at least not necessarily. And now, let's go check on these guys. It's true. The chosen one, Lisan Al Gaib. You can tell I really enjoyed Dune. I'm amazed that this building is amazing. The water, if you have access to the hot water geyser, water condenser should be like one of the first things you build for sure. But now, great time to pause the episode. We're working on our weather station. We're going to continue building the social district because like I said, I have a sneaking suspicion that is leading to population growth, which will be good for everybody. But for now, if you guys enjoyed the episode, click the like button. It helps me out a lot. If you want to see more episodes of Synergy or the other videos I have going on the channel, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you have your notifications on so you know when the next videos go live. But until next time, everybody, I hope you had a good one, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye, everybody!